So, folks, one of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight is what I've been talking about for a little bit here for the last week and a half, I think. Which is that the MAGA coalition is fracturing. Marjorie Taylor Greene left. She was the biggest fundraiser in the House. Her departure is a significant blow. And there are a lot of other Republicans who are thinking of doing the same. I believe another Republican announced a couple days ago that they are not going to seek re-election in 2026. A lot of other Republicans are looking to do the same. And basically, yesterday, the margin by which their candidate in Tennessee's 7th congressional district won by was significantly lower than what Donald Trump won that district by, which is a huge, huge problem because that means a lot more Republicans are more vulnerable than they thought. And this has instilled a lot of fear within members of Congress in the GOP. It was too close, said one House GOP leadership aide about the narrow margin in Tuesday's special election. Speaker Mike Johnson held onto a much-needed red seat in Tennessee Tuesday night, but fellow Republicans say this isn't cause for celebration. Johnson's leadership team was bracing for a tighter-than-comfortable race in the special election to succeed former Representative Mark Green, but the single-digit margin of victory for Matt Van Epps was a hard pill to swallow after national Republicans pulled out all the stops to rescue their candidate on the final days of the campaign, with the speaker himself traveling to the district to make a final pitch. It was too close, said one House GOP leadership aide. And speaking of House GOP leadership aides, one of Mike Johnson's top aides announced today that they are leaving to go to a private law firm. So, some people are already getting out of Dodge. Some people already are like dead man walking, at least when it comes to Mike Johnson in particular. I also just want to say here, this next one, the surprisingly tight race between Van Epps and Democrat Afton Bain, quote, is a sign that 2026 is going to be a bitch of an election cycle, one House Republican told Politico. Republicans can survive if we play team and the Trump administration officials play smart. Neither is certain. Don Bacon, I believe, announced that he was retiring. The GOP should not ignore how close it came, etc. Ted Cruz talked about how it was a dangerous sign for his party. In a year, it's going to be a turnout election and the left will show up. Hate is a powerful motivator. They hate President Trump, which is maybe one of the truest things Ted Cruz has ever said in his life. And this has also sparked Representative Elise Stefanik to basically seemingly spark an attempt at taking the speaker position from Mike Johnson. We'll have to see kind of how this plays out. But earlier today, Stefanik announced that Mike Johnson is not going to continue to be Speaker of the House. How screwed is Mike Johnson? He's really screwed. We've already got Mike Johnson is only in power due to a fragile coalition of Republicans. And the fracturing we have seen is significant enough that people in the Republican Party who have ambition, which certainly includes Representative Stefanik, are gunning for his spot. Okay? Let's see. In an interview with the Wall Street Journal Tuesday night, the New York lawmaker said Johnson is an ineffective leader who is losing control of the Republican Party. Quote, he certainly wouldn't have the votes be speaker if there was a roll call vote tomorrow. I believe that the majority of Republicans would vote for new leadership. It's that widespread. And keep in mind, Mike Johnson only a couple years ago, replaced the previous speaker because there was there was just a question among a tiny minority of Republicans about God, what was his name? Kevin McCarthy. Thank you. Because there was a question about Kevin McCarthy's leadership ability. And that resulted in Mike Johnson being elected despite having no real history of leadership in the House whatsoever. And, well, Mike Johnson has exceeded expectations and lasted longer as Speaker of the House than I certainly was expecting. But it's a weak coalition keeping him in power, and it's going to go.
Every interview with Mike Johnson should just go. Your name is Mike Johnson. You check with your son on both of your jacking habits weekly.
Genuinely, there's so many weird aspects to Mike Johnson that it's amazing no one asks him about those things. He's so weak and ineffectual. I don't know why journalists don't just ask him direct questions about his history. It's wild. But we are looking at escalating attacks. So earlier this week, Elise Stefanik accused Johnson of blocking provisions to the National Defense Authorization Act that would notify Congress if the FBI begins investigating federal candidates. And again, like, Elise Stefanik is not the good guy here. She's a closer ally to Donald Trump than Mike Johnson is. But this is what I mean when I say, like, the knives are going to come out because people in the Republican Party, they're mercenary. They've got ambition and they want to climb on top of the other crabs. Like, they are looking to destroy one another if it benefits them even slightly. And one of the things that I think we all need to take a look at here is this piece from the New York Times. Republican anger erupts at Johnson as party frets about the future. A small group of GOP women have been among the most vocal in raising with their colleagues what their colleagues say is a broader frustration with the speaker. Right here, Representative Elise Stefanik of New York called Speaker Mike Johnson a habitual liar. Representative Nancy Mace of South Carolina has told people she is so frustrated with the Louisiana Republican and sick of the way he has run the House, particularly how women are treated there, that she is planning to huddle with Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia next week to discuss following her lead in retiring early from Congress. Like, Nancy Mace is considering getting out of Dodge. And Nancy Mace has been acting fucking crazy for months now. And like, people are getting out. The rats are jumping out of the ship. You know, they are seeing the numbers that are coming their way in the 2026 election, and they don't want that smoke. Representative Anna Paulina Luna of Florida has gone around Mr. Johnson in a bid to force a vote. He's declined to schedule on a bill.
The only way his name and habits could be more euphemistic would be if his name was Richard Wiener Johnson.
True, Sake Tanuki. Anna Paulina Luna of Florida gone around Mr. Johnson in a bid to force a vote he has declined to schedule on a bill to ban members of Congress from stock trading. Like, he is being so ineffectual that people are subverting the chain of command in order to try and get things done, which is not a good sign if you're supposed to be the leader, right? You're supposed to be the one in charge. You want people going through you in order to do these maneuvers. And instead, Republicans are trying any which way to get around him because he's holding everything up, apparently. It's wild. Their dissatisfaction is indicative of a broader splintering of a restive group of GOP lawmakers who are perpetually unhappy with their leaders but appear to be reaching a breaking point with the current man at the top. Quote, rarely have things been completely harmonious in the conference, but it does seem like there is an unusually high level of discontent, said Representative Kevin Kiley, a California Republican who's been at odds with Mr. Johnson over the redistricting battles that will likely put him out of a job next year. He added, quote, the overriding issue is the House has not been at the forefront of driving policymaking or the agenda in Washington. That is naturally going to be frustrating to members who ran for Congress to make an impact on issues they care about. I.e., this is preventing these Republicans from providing results for their donors, which is a really big problem because the entire reason money flowed into these conservative political campaigns is so that they can tout victories and like say that they are providing for the folks who gave them money to get there. And it's also really telling how fractured the coalition is because you have conservatives in elected office willing to put their names in pieces like this. Like the fact that Nancy Mace allowed her name to be in the New York Times. The fact that Kevin Kiley allowed his name to be in the New York Times. Because keep in mind, the New York Times will just let you be anonymous. Will let you be anonymous GOP House representative. But they allowed their names to be attached because the knives are out. And so what we're looking at here is like a dissolution of at least yeah, you're looking at open rebellion against Mike Johnson, but also understand it's against Donald Trump. When Kevin Kiley says, oh, well, it's because people came to Washington to make a difference. Mike Johnson might be the initial roadblock to what is happening, but the real roadblock to why Congress and the United States House of Representatives have been sidelined is because Donald Trump sidelined it. So when we're talking about this issue with Mike Johnson, it is a preliminary salvo against the perception of Donald Trump weakening. And not to get too ahead of ourselves here for tonight's show, but I do want to point out Donald Trump looks terrible. Like not just like because of what he does and says, but like genuinely dude looks like he's potentially days or weeks away from kicking the bucket. And I think a lot of folks in the GOP are looking at what is happening and looking at his ability physically and mentally and saying, "Oh no. We have a very limited window to continue riding this Trump train, and after he is gone, we need to be positioned to be able to do stuff. We need to be positioned to have our own identities and our own, like, goods and services to offer, essentially. Because no one is taking political smoke for JD Vance. No one is taking smoke for Pete Hegseth if Donald Trump is gone. He looks like he's been pre-taxidermied. Exactly. It is interesting to see the coalition fall apart. And this isn't to say that we should get ahead of ourselves and say like the entire GOP is going to completely disintegrate. It will be gone. Like that's not going to happen. But what is going to happen is that there is going to be a massive reshuffling of power. And it might be that, Elise Stefanik rises to the top. It might be that like the speakership position is vacant for a while as the House just kind of roils in chaos. And it might be that like this is just the opening. Like guys, we're less than a year. It's been less than a year of Donald Trump being president. And the House of Representatives is already falling apart. There's more than 3 years left. I don't see how this works out for the GOP long term, especially not with the midterms next year. It's gonna be a rough go of it for the GOP, or to put it in the words of what was it? Who was it? Yeah, just one unnamed House Republican says, it's a sign that 2026 is going to be a bitch of an election cycle, and I think that is going to be especially true for Republicans. So let's see how this goes. But this is really good news for those of us on the left. But it should also be a call to action. Because we're going to have a window of opportunity here when the Republicans are incredibly weak. And that window of opportunity is open for those of us farther left than centrist Democrats. Because what centrist Democrats are looking to do is to become more conservative as the GOP coalition falls apart. They're looking to go more conservative so that they can siphon up those sweet, sweet conservative donation dollars. And so it falls to us, working within the Democratic Party, to defeat the conservative Democrats. Okay? It is deeply, deeply, deeply important for us to get involved, not just with organizing apparatuses in our local community outside of the Democratic Party, but it's also really important for us to get into the Democratic Party and, for all intents and purposes, combat this centrism that would sell all of us out. Because there's going to be only one really effective game in town. Because I don't see a massive project to build a third party in this country at the moment. And the fight in the short term is going to be within the Democrats. So this is why basically every stream I am pushing you guys to join not just your local Dems, but also your local DSA. So we can make our DSAs more effective, like the New York DSA, and be engaged and active in our local communities, connecting with other groups that are active and organizing collectively with DSA so that we have a power base that more progressive folks working and organizing within the local Democratic parties have a power base to draw on to defeat centrist Dems. It is a 1-2 punch, okay? 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. All right? We need that. We need progressive working class folks and policies. There's a limited window of opportunity. We have to take advantage of it. So if you are down to at least give it a shot as we go forward, please consider joining the Discord. And we have 2 different parts of the Discord. One is dedicated to talking about radicalizing your local Dems. The other is dedicated to talking about making your local DSAs more effective, or even how to start your own local DSA branch. And also, if you need help joining your local Dems, we have Dragonfly, who is highly active in her neck of the woods with the Democratic Party, ready and willing to help you join your local Dems, find them, join them, radicalize them. And also, you can reach out to GamerG for help joining and making your local DSA more effective. So reach out to Dragonfly for help with the Dems. Reach out to GamerG for help with your local DSA. Let's start getting this shit done. I know so many of you have been getting involved locally and doing the hard work, and I appreciate each and every one of you, but we need so many more of you to step up and show up to those meetings. 90% of the work is showing up to those meetings. I believe in you guys. Let's get it done. And with that being said, if you've gotten anything out of this segment, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing. The comments are actually super important right now in the YouTube algorithm, so please leave a comment. And also, please consider financially supporting the stream, because you guys make the show possible. Not any big money coming into this stream, just you guys. So thank you for allowing me to do what I do. And I would also ask, please consider checking out Imogene Olivia lingerie, ImogeneOlivia.com. It is a gender euphoric lingerie brand that my partner and I have put together, and it's designed from the ground up for trans femmes. And but anyone who wants to feel feminine is free, of course, to wear it. We've tested it with cis men, cis women, trans folks, and everyone who's tried it loves it. It fits well, and I highly encourage you to check it out. A link should be down in the description. And yeah. All right, let's keep on going.
Riverboat deck is going to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube and swishy streams. All that content is bursting the scenes. Politics, dating, plenty more. Your sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff